if I was reading it correct, the third general wasn't the one that had the chip. It was the first general. The chip that they need. They got this one chip from the second general, and the other one that they need, because there's two chips that they need. The first general has it. And that means they have to go back to the City of Steel to get it. But that will be a dangerous and suicidal mission to do. And so they're like, what are we supposed to do? So you know the bard that we were introduced to earlier that was given a high titlement, officialment? Yes. He rules over a city called Dragonmaw. And Dragonmaw is basically a bigger, better version of Phoenix City. And it has humans and clones coexisting and striving to do better. And they're led by the bard. The bard sends his people to go collect the rebellioners and the mercenaries who were fighting, get them to stop fighting, and have them brought to him. And so they're all brought to him. So before we go any further, I have to tell you this. The Melly has wings. Yeah, he does. He's a full-on actual literal angel. That is what I'm going to call him. He is a literal angel. No ifs or buts. He's an angel. So the human son of the clone dad, he has the ability to see the future. He just gets bits and parts of it, but he's able to see what could possibly happen in the future. And this is informed to them all by the bard, the ruler of Dragonmaw. He tells them about this fact. Now, the clone dad already knew this and informed the male lead about this. The main character didn't know, but it actually makes sense to the main character, since when traveling with the child tell him, hey, do this or that, you can trust in this person. And he would do what the child told him, not realizing it's because the child was able to see the future and see that this person could be trusted or this thing needed to be done. And the main character does sit down and have a conversation with the child about the child's ability to see into the future. And the child warns the main character that they will be able to save the human race, the clone race. They will be able to save their planet. But the main character will have to sacrifice his life to be able to do it. The main character will literally die. This is what the child has seen in the future, is that the main character is going to die. And this literally breaks the child's heart, because he's been traveling with the main character this entire time. He's grown a relationship with the main character, and he doesn't really want to see the main character dying, because in his eyes, the main character is literally his big brother, and the main character claims him as his little brother. Like, it's going to be so heartbreaking. And I was literally screaming, going, this is little mushroom all over again. This is little mushroom all the freaking again. I need to calm myself. Now, the Amory and the Amory's friend does try to get the human son to tell them, hey, do we win this war or not, or do we fail? And the ruler of Dragonmaw was like, hey, no, back off the child. If he tells you guys you will lose, will you stop fighting this war? You need to back off and let the future go with the way the future is supposed to go. He can see it, but doesn't mean he has to tell us if it works or not, like if we ace this war. The main character, while bathing with the Melly, tells the Melly that he's in love with the Melly, but then tries to turn it back, being like, no, it's the same way the human son feels for his father, or the, father feels for his son. It's nothing like that. No. And I'm like, yeah, it is. You love him. It's love. It's romantic, not love, not family love. Don't lie to yourself, or do not lie to your man. The main character and the male lead, they kiss at the festival. They had gone on a little festival date. No, I'm not actually really sure if they kissed at the festival, or this was a image shown to the male lead by the leader of the Dragonmaw, because the leader of Dragonmaw asked the male lead why the male lead chose to help them instead of deciding to allow them all to be executed and this planet to be destroyed and be no more. And he goes, I know why. You don't have to tell me. It's because of your feelings and because of the main character. Your feelings for the main character, and because of the main character, that you want to save all of us because you met someone like the main character. So the leader of Dragonmaw tells the main character, Malid, he has a way for them to be able to get that first chip from the first general. And it's by going back in time during when the rebellion started. He tells them he can take them back in time. He has specifically 2 rings to do it. One he got on his travels because he loves to travel constantly. That's how he ended up at the City of Steel during the rebellion, and then ended up meeting up with the clone dad and the human child, is because he loves to travel. And during his travels, he found one of the rings. And the other ring is on the body of the first leader of Dragon Ball. They had to take the ring off the dude's body. And the dude was being kept in basically the little coffin thing that the main character found the Melid in. And so they just take the ring off the dude's dead body. The leader of Dragon Ball, he's not going to go back into the past with them, but he does tell them to find his past self and work with him. And that's how he knew the main character when he first saw the main character on the trip when they were leading to the continent that the city of Phoenix is on, is because he already met with the main character and worked with the main character, and he already had that bond and relationship with the main character. And that's why he was so close and caring with the main character when they met up on the ship, even though the main character did not know who he was. It's because, again, the main character had gone into the past and met him. He tells them not to run into their past selves because, again, he points out they never ran into their past selves, so they didn't know any of this, so they should make sure not to come across their past selves. He does send the Amory's friend, and Clone Dad with them to the past. The past version of the leader of Dragon Ball, they find him, and he's like, oh, I kind of know who you guys are, I kind of don't, because, again, his future self, the leader of the Dragon Ball, sent him a message to inform him, hey, the people are going to be sent to you from the future to work with you to defeat the father. Yeah, I'd be a little confused, but this man goes full on along with it. I will also say this, the leader of the Dragon Ball, he reminds me of a mixture of both Aslan, Jesus, and Buddha. Like, he feels like all three of them into one specific person, and I am literally thriving for it. I am like, oh, this is all I need. And I know Aslan is actually supposed to be God, so he's basically a mixture of God, Jesus, and Buddha all into one, and I thrive for that. The main character, he was able to get them into the City of Steel, which was typically his main job, was to get everyone in there. But then he's like, I don't know what else to do. I don't really have a plan. And they're about to be hunted down by a bunch of robots, and they're all arguing over who has to sacrifice themselves and be bait. And the leader of Dragon Ball is like, all of you, nah, it's my job. This is my duty. Do not worry. I know I'll be fine because I have gotten a message from my future self, so I'll know I will survive if I'm captured. So he goes, here I am, the leader of Dragon Ball, and I want to have a conversation with the father. And so he basically uses himself as bait. And I was like, I love this man. I really, really love this man. So with all the fighting happening, somebody does end up getting really injured, and it's the Clone Dad. And he basically wants the other four to abandon him. And they're like, no, we're not going to abandon you. And he's like, no, it's perfectly fine to abandon me because I know from my son's predictions that we all survive this. So there is no fear about somebody dying. They're like, no, we're not abandoning you. So they're trying to find him one of the health rooms so he can get cured. They will leave him in the health room, but they were going to find a room for him to be cured. And Amory and Amory's friend uses themselves also as bait and sacrifices so he could get to a room so he could be cured. They do survive, do not worry, they do not die.